This is the shortcut I took to start earning money with my music without learning a bunch of marketing and stuff. So, obviously, there are a few different ways to actually make money with your music. If you're a producer, you have even more ways, right? As a producer, I am an engineer. I know how to mix, I know how to record. At one point, I used to charge for recording services, mixing services. I was able to honestly provide a lot of different all-in-one services for an artist. So I would produce the music and then I would record them. Then I would mix and master the songs. And yeah, even for a couple artists, I even, helped them do the whole distribution thing. So that was that. So those different services you can kind of split up into multiple services and offer them individually. You can use sites like AirGig, Sound Better, I think it is. There's some other ones out there like Upwork, and you can offer those services, make money as a producer. Don't have to do. I don't want to say you don't have to do any marketing for that, because if nobody knows about the services you have to offer as a producer, your potential earning potential is going to be low. So, but those are the other services. You can also, create loop packs, sample packs, MIDI packs. You can sell the actual beats, right? Whether that's to a marketplace online, whether that's directly to artists. You could also go the major artist route. So that's the music. That's selling the music. If you're a type of producer who performs live, an instrumentalist, now you got live shows, you can make money that way. A lot of these things are going to require some type of marketing if you want to see a substantial amount of income from it. You got to put in the effort. You got to figure out how to draw people in, how to attract people to what you have to offer. And all those things are cool. I definitely recommend exploring multiple options and to monetize the skills that you do have as a producer, and figure out what works for you. Everything doesn't work for everybody. Everybody, kind of finds whatever lane they decide to settle in. But the route I decided to take, at least, after trying those things, and those things were cool, and a lot of those things I still did for years, even after I started getting placements, because it all adds to the bottom line at the end of the day, whether that's selling beats, whether it's working with artists, mixing, mastering, all these things I continued to offer for a while, until I just decided to just hyper focus on sync. But sync licensing, which is just producing your music for TV and film, that was one thing that I found you honestly don't have to know marketing in order to really get started in sync. I didn't know any marketing when I got started in sync. And the cool thing about it is that the companies that you partner with, they're honestly the ones that are doing most of the marketing. And I'll explain my approach, because there's a few different lanes within sync licensing. Everything isn't made equal. Every approach isn't exactly the same. So I'll share my personal approach when I first got started, and how I went about it, that did not require any marketing, any credits, any expertise for real. I just kind of had to, I had to bump my head as far as figuring out how to structure music and production, but that was pretty much it. Once I cracked that code, I was good. So my approach was, okay, there are music supervisors out there. A lot of them are super busy. A lot of them like to work with who they work with, right? Because of the reputation that was built. They don't have a lot of time to waste, so they want to make sure, whoever they're reaching out to, they're going to be able to deliver, and they're going to do good business, right? So my approach was, instead of trying to hunt down all the music supervisors for all the shows and all the movies, what if I just went to where they're already looking for music? Now, where do they typically look for music? They look for music at production music libraries or production music houses, sync licensing companies, music libraries. There's different terms for it, but they all mean the same thing. They're basically publishers that specialize in curating music specifically for media. So I was just like, why not just reach out to the companies who have relationships with not just one music supervisor? Because if I'm trying to find somebody, I can only reach out to like one person at a time. But if I took that same energy, reached out to a sync publisher, they probably know multiple supervisors, not only supervisors, but multiple networks, such as, a Paramount or CBS or Fox or whatever. They probably know, which I think CBS and Paramount I think that's like, they're like one and the same now. I don't know. But they know and have multiple established connections. So I decided to put in the effort, reach out to the publishers, and see if they're accepting submissions. Lo and behold, they were. In fact, most of them literally on their website have some way for new composers, producers, artists, songwriters to submit music to their website. Like literally, it'll be like in the contact us page, it'll say like submissions at blah, blah, blah.com, or, hey, do you want to interested in becoming an artist for blah, 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 submit here, reach out to us. Or at the bottom of the page, it'll be like a submit music or composer submissions link at the bottom of the website. You click that, they give you instructions, you submit, if they like what they hear, they hit you back. You do a sync publishing deal and then create music, pitch it, and then they handle the rest. So literally, one of the first publishing deals I did, I literally just sat in my bedroom studio, created the music, sent it to the publisher how they wanted it to be sent, and they did the rest. Like I didn't have to market myself. Like I didn't have any placements or credits or anything to like it was the music. The music had to speak for itself. So yeah, there was nothing for me to market other than, hey, I think I make pretty cool music. You want to check it out? Maybe I can help and serve in some way. And that's what happened. So then I was just like, okay, bet. First placement landed on the NFL Network, Thursday Night Football. Paid me, I probably made over $600 in royalties just from like that one track. I was just like, oh, bet. Like, I'm going to do that again, rinse and repeat. Create more music, send it to the publisher. Publisher does what publishers do, publish the music, it got placed. So yeah, I was just like, yo, I didn't have to build a fan base. I didn't have to hunt down delinquent paying artists to pay the rest of the fee for their mixes or whatever services I was offering. I didn't have to like come up with some fancy press kit and some impressive bio. I think the first bio I wrote for a publisher, it was like a few sentences. It was like, Anthony Clint Jr. is a musician, composer, producer, and specializes in making music for. It was basic. Like I don't even remember, but yeah, they was just like, send a pic and like 3 sentences about yourself. I was like, all right, bet. Super simple, and that was it. And then the music just started getting placed. They didn't care who I was. They didn't care what kind of credits I had. They didn't care. So I was just like, yo, this is like the shortcut to monetizing your music without having to learn a bunch of marketing. Now, with that being said, if you do learn marketing, that can just be another skill set that you can use to monetize your business in other ways, which I recommend every producer do that. Like, I mean, build a brand, become known for something, build a reputation around that. And then, that's another way that you can generate income with your music. Prime example, especially if you're an artist, sync is so powerful. There was a track that got placed on Love Island that I produced years ago, and it is like just now kind of picking up speed. But it got placed on Love Island, and I think did they use? Yeah, they used the full song, and I think there was a part where they used the instrumental. Right. This is the crazy thing. Once that song got placed on Love Island, I looked at like my Apple Music stats and Spotify and things like that, and noticed there was a 250% increase in streams for that song immediately after it got placed on Love Island. So like people start Shazamming the joint. I seen Shazams go up for that song. It was crazy. And I was just like, yo, if I was an artist, there was another artist, like a songwriter singing on the song. I'm just a producer. I don't really have a desire to become an artist. Shout out to the artists, man. Y'all, listen, y'all work hard. But I don't have a desire to be an artist. But if I was an artist, sync is 1000% going to be a part of my game plan because, again, I didn't have to market that song. I didn't have to market myself. I just had to make the music, send it to the publisher. Publisher got it placed on Love Island. My streams went up. So if I was an artist, I'm gaining more fans just from doing the sync stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I'm getting more visibility and more ears on my music just because my music is being used on TV. Like, TV is like the new radio. It's crazy. So that would absolutely be a part of my strategy. Now, as an artist, you're probably still going to have to, I don't know. I don't know. You may not have to. Like, if you're getting some good syncs, you probably won't even have to market yourself for real and like go crazy. Like, the syncs will kind of help market you. And now your name as an artist is attached to Love Island, or another show or a big brand, Nike, Adidas, like whatever. It like the sky is not even the limit. Like, it's just limitless. So yeah, highly recommend learning how to get your music placed in TV and film, because that's like one area where you can monetize your music and really not have to know any marketing. You do have to know how to make good music, but you don't have to know marketing at all. So if you want to learn how to get your music placed in TV and film, I created a free sync producer quick start guide. Just click the link in the description. It'll be there. I'll also pin it in the comments. Check that out. Also, if you need your I Make Music Not Excuses merch, you gotta get you some of that. See, the camera won't even let me, but it's all good. Get you some of that. Got the hoodies as well, because it's getting chilly out here, especially in Atlanta, man. It's been rainy and cold. But grab that. It's at clintproductions.com. Link to that is in the description as well. Get your I Make Music Not Excuses. Stop making excuses. Make the music. And then learn how to place the music so you can get paid for the music.